Hi all, I wanted to make a quick video for you to talk through the Nutrition Label Lab. I posted this sheet. This is going to be the outline that you'll use. So you can choose a nutrition label for any food that you have. It can be a snack, it can be something that you have for dinner, whatever you have around. Make sure you take a picture of it and include the picture of the nutrition label in your assignment. Also, make sure to tell me what you are doing the nutrition facts for. Your energy per serving, you're going to be looking for the calories here. You can report the calories per serving or the calories in the entire container. Make sure you list the total carbohydrates and pay attention to the units. Also, with the polysaccharides and mono and disaccharides, what we're really looking for here is a breakdown of the sugars. So your monosaccharides and disaccharides are going to be listed under sugar, and we'll take a look at an example here. Your polysaccharides, most of the time those aren't listed separately, especially if it's starch in the nutrition label. So you may have to do some subtraction here. So for example, if your total carbohydrate is listed at 10 and you have 5 grams of sugar, then you would have 5 grams of starch. Your cellulose is actually going to be your fiber. So if you think of something like celery, it has a ton of fiber. It's a little bit hard to chew, but the cellulose is actually going to be your dietary fiber. Your lipids, so you can list saturated and unsaturated fat. If it separates out mono unsaturated or poly unsaturated, you can list those separately or together. It's your choice. The FDA several years ago listed trans fat as a banned substance, and what that means is there should only be a very negligible amount of trans fat, if any at all, in any product. So any product that is within reasonable time of consuming should have 0 for trans fat. And then your steroids are actually going to be cholesterol, and make sure to take a look at the units there. So steroids are a type of lipid, and a great example that we see in food is going to be cholesterol. Your protein, make sure you list that. Some foods have no protein in it, so you would put 0. And then I'm going to go over here in a second what we're looking for with metal ions and coenzymes. A lot of times those are going to be the vitamins and minerals that are listed more towards the bottom of your nutrition label. Depending on what you're eating, there might be a ton or there may be none. And then the electrolytes, the main two that we see, or I guess the main one that we see listed on a nutrition label is sodium. You may also have potassium listed. So those are the main 2 electrolytes that we see. So you can type directly into this document, which is a PDF. You can create a new Word file, or you can type directly into the assignment in our online class, making sure that you include a picture of your nutrition label. So an example of what this looks like. So on our nutrition label, it says serving size is WAR, and our total amount of energy would be 220. And a lot of times they do list calories from fat. So a good application question could be, what percentage of calories come from fat? And it's actually 50% in this particular instance. And what that translates to is 13 grams of total fat. 8 of them are saturated, with none being trans fat. So in order to find the unsaturated fat, in this case, you'd have to subtract, you take 13 minus 8. The cholesterol is your steroid at 10 milligrams. While it's a fat, it's usually not included in the total fat count, and you can see that because it's over here on the left. Sodium would be one of our electrolytes. For total carbohydrate, we have 26 grams, 1 gram of dietary fiber, which is your cellulose, and 24 grams of sugar. So what you can do as practice, you can pause the video now and try to determine how many total grams of polysaccharides are in this nutrition label. How many grams of polysaccharides? Now that you're ready to come back to figure out how many polysaccharides we have, we would take 26, subtract 1, and subtract 24, and that actually would just give us 1 gram of polysaccharide or complex carbohydrate. We've got 3 grams of sugar, and then you can see your nutrients down here. We've got some calcium and iron. You can write those as a percentage because that's what's listed on the nutrition label. Just to give you an idea, so one hamburger is about 550 calories, and if walking burns about 220 calories per hour, the amount of activity to use all of that energy is 2.2 hours of walking. So calories equates energy. Sometimes calories get a bad rap, but what I really want to accentuate here and illuminate is that calories give us energy in order to go about our daily life. If you think about a chocolate bar that has about 220 calories, you're looking at about 1 hour of walking, and an orange has 45, which is less than 15 minutes. So a great example would be to kind of think about how the pandemic and doing maybe more online learning or at-home work has changed how active you are on a daily basis. I know for me, while I still get the same amount of exercise, I feel like I sit a lot more than I used to. So the cofactors that we're looking at identifying, so these are enzyme helpers for our body. They're super important, which is why some people may take a multivitamin, but they are non-protein components that help our enzymes. We have cofactors that could be inorganic, meaning they don't have any carbon in them, and those are going to be our metal ions, like iron, for example. We also have organic cofactors, and these are going to be called coenzymes, and that just means that they have a lot of carbon in them. They're a little bit bigger, and they're going to be our vitamins. And so you don't have to know specifically all the different vitamins and what they can cause and where you can find them, but it might be helpful just to kind of look to get in a. You can see your metal ions listed here. Calcium is very commonly found in nutrition labels, as is iron, magnesium, potassium, zinc sometimes. And then you have your cofactors listed here that are metal ions. So your sodium and your potassium are going to be the ones for you to look at for electrolytes. I did want to point out with different types of fats. So saturated fats, we usually see these in a higher percentage in animal products. Bacon, for example, cheese, milk, and generally speaking, they are solid at room temperature and are thought to be less healthy. Not that they're bad for you, but in excess they can cause. They've been related to health issues. With unsaturated fats, they are liquid at room temperature, and we see these in our plant products. So olive oil is a great example. And then the last part here, I wanted to remind us that when we're looking at lipids and steroids in particular, while things like estrogen and testosterone definitely fall into this category, cholesterol is a steroid that we commonly see in food that is naturally occurring. And again, something that kind of gets a bad rap, but your body actually needs cholesterol in order to function properly. All right. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope that was helpful for you all in getting your lab done.